All right, guys, we're back. A little bit of a late lift, 5:24 p.m. Second pre-workout, Ryse Godzilla. Very stacked. We're going to be taking the full dose.
I'm going to be taking the full dose.
He's going to be taking the full
400
dose.
milligrams.
Yeah, I'm taking one because I'm a bitch.
Greg's going to do what maybe the viewers at home are more inclined to do. I'm going to do what the more advanced lifters
Boom.
do.
Flavor, by the way, blue raspberry.
Oh, this looks still murky. You see blue flakes floating around in there.
That's the signature blueberries, frozen blueberries that they put in there.
Is that true?
No, it's not. Yeah, I really love this pre, but I will not be biased.
I've never had it before. I see there's some powder settling on the bottom, so we didn't have that yesterday with EchoVision, but EchoVision was, I believe, only 20 grams for 2 scoops. It was, I think, almost 30. 2 scoops here is almost 40 grams.
All right.
We should just finish drinking it. I rate the flavor 6 out of 10. You can tell it's there, but it's not too strong.
I would personally rate it 7, maybe like 7.1, something like that. It's a good flavor, but again, there are better flavors. Like Ghost, for example, have the fucking Swedish fish. What are we hitting? Back biceps?
Yep.
So I'll mention this later, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to have a late lift for this day, the workout after, and the day after that. But let's get to the meat here. So we started with some lat pull downs, just a few sets. I think it was 3 that we did here. You guys watching the top set. I had to cut it a little bit early before the next one, so obviously I'm not going to show 2 minutes for every single set. Then we moved on to rows, similar set ranges and rep ranges for all these. Once we get our backs warmed up, we're just cranking out the back workouts pretty much. For the rows, I know a lot of people like to do them with the wide handle grip, but I always prefer when I'm trying to hit my lower lats, or my lats in general, just to use the close grip and really just crank out some high weight. For our last back workout before the check-in, we just ended up doing some chest supported rows on the machine here. Really get able to get a nice deep stretch mid-back there, and then just crank out some reps. So yeah, that was pretty much the first half of the workout before the check-in. I really felt that I was able to get a good pump, really good energy despite being so tired on this lift. And the focus was definitely there. I just felt like I wanted to really go kind of thing. And even when I was resting, I just wanted to start doing my next set right away.
So we're almost done. We got 2 more workouts left. Checking in. Beta-alanine in Godzilla, which I don't really like because every time you have a pump, you just feel the itch inside of the pump, which I don't really like. Energy is definitely good. I was tired, didn't get a lot of sleep. Doing better now. And focus is definitely there.
Yeah, so I would definitely disagree. I love beta-alanine. I love the itch. Energy is fucking a lot better than EchoVision and Gorilla Mode. So yeah, this is going to be a good rating for Ryse.
So for the last back workout, we just did some underhand pull downs here on the lat machine. I recently started implementing these after I saw a video online, and after I tried them, I just fell in love with the movement. It's really nice movement to hit the lats, just finish them off, especially at the end of the workout. And it's also single hand, so I usually put these towards the end and switching over to my other hand here. Yeah, in general, I highly recommend trying these out if you haven't, but that's going to finish up the back portion of our workout. Then we moved on to some biceps look-away curls. I don't know, I've heard some people call these. I just call them cable curls. Same thing. Yes, we only did 1 bicep workout. Yes, I know most people do like 2 or 3, but that's just how I like to train. Of course, best training method is what you like the most and what makes you feel the best. So yeah, that's going to conclude the back workout that we did for Ryse Godzilla. Overall, this is one of the best pre-workouts that we tried. I'm going to say best or second best. And if you can get this on sale, honestly, I would buy this on full price. I'm not going to lie. This was a really nice pre-workout.
Now we just got done with the workout, borderline cardio because there were so many people at the gym. We had to crank it out. So for the pump, I give it probably 8 out of 10. I'll rate it lower if there was no beta-alanine, I would say, just because with the beta-alanine, whenever you have some blood in the muscle, you feel the itch. For the focus, definitely 10 out of 10. I felt that I was getting extra reps. I was totally locked in, even though I was like tired going into almost every single set. But it's just the circumstances and energy. Energy definitely 8 out of 10 as well. Definitely felt the caffeine hit hard on this one. So final rating 9 out of 10 for Godzilla.
And for me, honestly, I really fucking love beta-alanine. And so for pump, I'm going to rate it a 9 out of 10. It was pretty much perfect for me. For energy, I would say 100% without a question, 10 out of 10. I was locked in the entire workout. I had energy the whole workout. Unlike, scam gorilla mode, hashtag scam gorilla mode if you made it this far in the video. And focus, honestly, again, like 9 out of 10. It was pretty much perfect. So overall, I'd rate it a 9 out of 10.
So I ended up losing the audio for this part. I don't really know what happened, but thankfully this was pretty uneventful here with the Total War. I just end up showing it to the camera, give it a little sniff. Greg gives it a little sniff. Smells like cotton candy from what I can recall, so it was pretty good. And then we just shake it up before taking a little sip. Of course, we go to clink. Greg ends up spilling it, no surprise there, and then we get to chugging.
Oh, look at the bottom. They have the same black particles that there was like in
Really?
Echovision. So
Oh yeah, I see it.
this has to be some secret ingredient.
It's like black pepper, bro. I swear. It's not salt, bro.
It's probably these fucking grains of paradise. It's Gisandra fruit extract, teacrine, fucking creatine nitrate, betaine nitrate, citrulline nitrate, choline, folate.
I don't know
What's in here, dude?
Taste, I would probably rate it around like a 3. Honestly, it doesn't really taste like much.
Yeah, I've had worse in my life. I've had Gorilla Mind. Taste, 3 out of 10.
So, unfortunately for Total War, it was a leg day. Before we did these lying leg curls, we did do some side delts just with the dumbbells. That's how I like to start out my leg days, even though it's shoulder movement. I like to do my side delts every 2 days. That's just how I like to train. So we did these for 3 sets and then about 10 reps. And after this, we did some leg press, which I'm going to mention later. But I think we did that for 3 sets, and I want to say 10 reps there as well. But the gym was pretty packed, so I didn't want to stand in the middle in the open and record our sets. Make sure you're being respectful out there. But at this point, I was feeling slight pump, slight focus, a little bit of energy, but nothing that really blew me away, especially on the full dose of the pre-workout.
So we just got done with leg press. My legs are absolutely cooked. I'm definitely feeling the pump even after 1 set. Energy is kind of there, but I am not feeling any focus at all. Alleged 6 patented ingredients, I think they lied. How your legs looking, bro? Short legs.
Yeah, so the energy is really good, but just the focus is not there and the pump's pretty mid. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty tired. I'm sweating a lot. Yeah.
To finish it off, we just did some seated calf raises. These are a staple in my leg days. I would do the standing ones, but the machine here ends up giving me marks on my shoulders. I do it occasionally, but I feel like with the seated ones, I really get a nice contraction. And at the end of the day, that's kind of all I'm looking for with calves. And this was the last workout that we ended up doing, so there's just 2 sets here, and then we did 8 to 10 rep range. That's pretty much what we did the whole workout. In retrospect, it wasn't that bad of a leg day, but I did have high expectations for this pre-workout just because it's supposed to be their best formula, and I've never had Total War before, so I didn't really know what to expect. Fortunately, I did come out pretty disappointed just because it fell very, very short of expectations. But of course, it was $22, so I guess in the pre-workout world, you get what you pay for.
We just got done with the grueling leg workout. Not gonna lie, this pre did not hit. It was the worst one yet. Pump, I'll rate the pump 7 out of 10. I felt a good pump even after the warm-up sets. Energy, I'll rate this 2 out of 10. I did not feel anything. Even the beta alanine is the same as Ryse yesterday, but I did not feel nearly as itchy. And then lastly, for the focus, I felt it a little bit, but honestly, nothing compared to yesterday. So focus 4 out of 10. Final rating on the pre, 5 out of 10.
Very similar to Pavel here. My energy was around like a 4 out of 10. Like it was good energy, but kind of worsened because the focus is so bad. And so it's like, yeah, the energy is there, but it's like, how good is it if I can't utilize that energy? And for that purpose, obviously, focus is a 0. And then pump, I mean, like I felt it a little bit in my calf at the end of the workout, but it wasn't anything too crazy. So for pump, I'm gonna say like a 4 out of 10. Honestly, this pre-workout really disappointed me. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10, lower than Echo Vision, believe it or not.
So yeah, I mean, Total War Black Ops, extreme pre-workout, did not hit. So, if you see it on TikTok shop for $22.
Honestly, if you're looking for a pre-workout, you might be better off trying C4.
Next on the docket, we have Mother Bucker, Miami flavor, baby.
Yeah, this is the one we're most excited for. This is probably the most maxed out pre-workout we could find. And yeah, it's supposedly really, really good. It smells like Miami, bro. I don't know.
1 full serving is 1 scoop. It is very messy. So watch out when you're opening this, dude.
I didn't even notice that.
Watch out, dude. Don't do it too quick.
Oh my god, it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's really fucking good, dude.
It's really good. Yeah, it didn't smell like anything, but
It's like something strawberry, 100%. Yeah, there's a little bit of residue on the bottom that can't be helped, but there's no black pepper flakes in there this time around.
That's good,
So,
dude. What are you rating it out of 10?
flavor, 9 out of 10 flavor.
Oh shit,
I think
dude.
Bucked Up, they're known for their good flavors, and they did not disappoint.
Yeah, personally, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I just have not tasted a better pre. Honestly, like Ryse was pretty good, but like, yeah, like I said, haven't tried anything better than that.
That's why we had to get to Miami.
So we ended up having a really solid workout on the Bucked Up here. I'm not gonna lie, Mother Booker is probably the best pre-workout I've ever had in my life. So for the workout, we started with some basic dumbbell press. This is pretty much a staple on chest days when I do want to have a nice fucking pump. It's always funny watching these back because I just see myself getting more and more red every single rep. I feel like it's more entertaining for me than maybe for you watching this because it's just funny how red I get. Then of course when I come up, you guys can see my bald spot. So we don't record every single workout just because I don't want to bore you guys. Like, yeah, we did shoulder machine presses in the workout, but we didn't record that. We did tricep pushdown. We didn't record that just because we already have clips of that in other videos. So I don't want to be too repetitive. And after dumbbell press, we ended up moving to the hammer strength incline machine. For some reason, people online don't really like this machine. I really like being able to really put my butt more forward on the seat, put the seat pretty low, and then just go wide on the grips. I really feel that gets my upper pecs really lighting up. So I would recommend trying that if you've been doing other things. Just maybe give this machine a second chance. Really, if I'm not going to do anything else for incline, I don't really have a lot of time, this is definitely my go-to machine. Just get it on there, do, 2 sets, maybe a drop set. It's perfect. And the last thing we ended up recording for you guys is some JM press. These really kill my triceps. Yeah, so if you guys have never set this up, I usually just put the bench up and then I go down until the bar is pretty much at my nose or like lip area, somewhere around there. And then for me, that's just the perfect setup. So if you've been doing it too low or too high, that's where I would say to put the bar. That's what I've found works best for me, but of course you gotta try it out. Then I believe after this is when we did some push down. I just went over, did one superset. Really, really kills the triceps. But yeah, I was pretty tired going into this workout. But the Bucked Up really woke me up. And then once I got a pump going, pretty much there was no stopping me. This is easily the best pre-workout we've had. If you can get this on sale, they're always on sale. I highly recommend getting it. And even if you can't, buying this at full price is worth it.
What's up, guys? We just finished with our workout. I must say, this is best so far. So starting off, I'd say the focus was around like a 7 or 8. Focus was really good. Obviously, I think Echo Vision was a little bit better, and I believe Ryse was about the same. For energy, I'd give it 100% a 10 out of 10. I mean, the energy was just absolutely insane. 400 megs of caffeine plus the 6,400 megs of beta alanine. The shit was insane. The energy was insane. Like a 7 maybe. The pump, it came pretty quick, but towards the end I could feel it going away. So overall, a 9 out of 10.
So for focus, I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. I felt locked in the whole time. I mean, we forgot to record the halfway through check-in just because we were so focused, but that's just what happens when you have such a good pre-workout. Energy, I definitely also felt it, but like Greg said, towards the end kind of fell off. So 8 out of 10, probably because of the delayed release caffeine. I don't know if I really buy into that, but it's whatever. And for the pump, I give the pump 8 out of 10. I did feel it and then started to taper off, but once it was there, definitely noticeable. So, I mean, you guys probably saw that in the video clips. And overall rating, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It was pretty solid. I would probably pay more than the market value on this one, even though I got it at a steep discount.
Also, bonus points for not having black pepper.
Agreed, dude. Next on the docket is Sebum Signature Pre-Workout. You already know. Thavage, baby.
Now, we all know that sebum is a vegan natural. However,
must be the coconut fruit water extract.
Yeah.
No, the flavor is raspberry lemonade.
Oh,
It's pretty good.
the initial taste is good, but I feel like a couple seconds later, like the aftertaste kind of hits a little bit.
No, I would say it's good all the way through.
Oh, okay. No fucking pepper. Once again,
Yeah, no black pepper here.
flavor profile, I'm gonna give it a solid, I'd say 9 out of 10. It's a little bit worse than the Bucked Up, but it's still really, really good.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. I would say it's not the best flavor we've had so far, but definitely a close second or third.
And so with that, let's get to the workout. It was another back day here, so I'm not going to bore you guys showing too many clips because we've already seen most of these. Obviously, we started out with some lat pull downs, a staple, pretty much start these off every single back day. You guys already know the rep range, 2 to 3 sets on every workout, and then working in the 6 to 10 rep range, maybe 10 to 12 depending on the workout. After lat pull downs, we of course went into some seated rows just to warm up the lats a little bit, 2 to 3 sets here as well, before moving on to some more intense, let's just say, back workouts. At this point, I was feeling a decent pump, good energy as well, beta alanine in there too, so you guys know what I think about that.
The midway check here, energy horrible, didn't hit at all. I felt the beta alanine a little bit at the start, but now it's completely gone. Focus, also shit. And then pump, I mean, also pretty fucking shit. This is giving me like Total War, Black Op, like vibes right now. I don't know, maybe it'll get better later. We'll see.
Our midway check-in, we just got done doing lats and mid-back. The pump is, I guess it's fine. It wasn't hitting as hard as the Godzilla or the Mother Bucker. The energy, I'm not really feeling it. I guess probably because C-Bomb gets energy from other sources. Focus has been decent as well, but it's nothing crazy. So I guess we're getting our money's worth on this. This is the second cheapest pre-workout.
Of course, this couldn't be a raw review without doing Chris Bumpstead's favorite lat workout, the lat pullover. So Greg convinced me to do this machine. I've never tried it before, but it's definitely going to become a staple in my back days. It was a really nice finisher for the lats here right at the end of the workout. So if you're like me and you're sleeping on it, definitely try it out. And like you guys just heard me say, this was one of the cheapest pre-workouts. I got it for just under $30. But honestly, you're better off staying away from Thavage. Just get the essential if you're going to go on the cheaper side for pre-workouts, and then if you want a maxed out formula, go for the Thuper Thavage, especially if you can catch it on sale. Thavage is kind of the mid-range in between the Essential and the Thuper, so I would say probably stay away from it. Afterwards, we just went over to the cables, did some cable curls. At this gym, they have a really nice long bar, so if you're someone with, a little bit wider shoulders and you can't really grip nicely on the thin bar, or maybe one that's not as long, then I would say get yourself one of these, or maybe use a different attachment. We also ended up doing some rear delt flies just on the pec deck. We ended up doing some rear delt flies after this on the pec deck, but we couldn't record those because it was really busy in that area. So just make sure you're being respectful out there. Overall, I was a little bit disappointed with the Thavage pre-workout, but like I said, it was under $30, so I was getting my money's worth. It's definitely nothing horrible, especially if you're looking for a budget pre-workout, but just keep in mind it's not going to be anything that blows you away.
So we just got done with the back workout, testing out the raw Thavage. For energy, I would give it probably a 2 out of 10. I felt maybe a little bit, but besides that, I was not energized. I was yawning, actually. For the pump, I would give it 5 out of 10. Definitely felt something, but it was nothing crazy compared to other pre-workouts we tried. For focus, I would also give it a 5 out of 10. I did not really feel that focused. I was just kind of going through the motions at one point. So for the final rating, I give this a 4 out of 10. I was not impressed.
Yeah, so for me, I'm giving energy a 0. I don't know if you guys just saw, but I let out the biggest yawn known to man. Pump, I mean, yeah, it was all right, I guess. I'll give it like a 4 out of 10. And then for focus, again, very shitty, horrible. You get what you pay for when you buy a shitty pre, I guess. 3 out of 10 for focus. Overall, I'm giving it a 4. I think that's about the same rating I gave Total War. Yeah, they're pretty similar.
We finally made it to the end of the journey on the last packets of pre-workout. I'm going to be taking hardcore stim.
I'll be taking the 3.0 formula. That's about it.
Smells good, dude.
Fuck.
Hope it tastes better than it smells.
Yeah, dude. Shit out of me, dude.
Dude, okay, it actually smells good now, dude.
Oh, yeah, it's like a Kool-Aid.
I must say, the HTLT flavors always hit, so I have high hopes for this.
So sweet, bro.
Oh, this is really fucking good.
Wow, that's too sweet, bro. Sweeter than a baby's bottom, bro.
What? This is the best fucking pre-workout I've ever had in my fucking life.
So for that flavor profile, 8 out of 10. Just because it's too sweet. If it was a little less sweet, I would most likely rate it 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10.
As a reminder, I had the hardcore stim tropical fruit punch. I would rate the flavor a 10 out of 10. That was easily the best flavor. It was sweet, but also the aftertaste is sour. So if you like sour things, this is going to be definitely the flavor for you.
So for the workout, we were just hitting weak points, so nothing crazy. We started off with some side delts. You guys already know the set and rep ranges. And like I said, that pre-workout was actually amazing. It was probably the best tasting thing I've ever had in my life. My mouth is just salivating just thinking about it. I wish that was more than just a sample packet and I had the whole tub. But back to the workout. We started off with some side delts, then we moved on to some leg curls, I believe it was. We also hit some calves. I'm not going to include every single clip just because you guys have already seen me and Greg do those workouts, so I don't want to bore you guys to death by just replaying the same old clips. I personally really like this machine. I know some people like to do a single hand, maybe dumbbells, cables, but I personally alternate between this machine and doing dumbbells. And last thing we did was some leg extension. Unfortunately, this gym only has a leg extension machine where you have to use both legs. I prefer to do it single leg, but you gotta work with what you got. So for the hardcore stim at this point, I wasn't really feeling anything crazy in terms of energy. For what's labeled as a hardcore pre-workout, I was expecting more of a kick with energy, but honestly, I was feeling a better pump if anything, and focus as well. So not sure what went wrong there in the formula. Unfortunately, HTLT doesn't really do sales, so I would say only pick this up if you can get it maybe somehow on sale or at a high discount. The flavor profile is really good though, so if you're someone who doesn't really like those grainy tastes of other pre-workouts and you need something that tastes really good, then go with this.
We just got done hitting weak points. So for the pump, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. I was feeling it after the first set. Nothing crazy. Of course, it's a high stim pre-workout, so I didn't expect too much. For the energy though, I think I'm also going to rate it 7 out of 10. I was feeling good energy at the start of the workout, but then started to crash even towards the end. Keep in mind, this is a sample packet though, so it's only one scoop compared to a full dose you get with the actual pre-workout. And for the focus, I would say that was probably the best part, 9 out of 10 for the focus. Final rating on the HTLT high stim, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Pump, I'd say it was 7 out of 10. It is just a weak points day, so I didn't like a crazy pump. But yeah, it was alright, like 7 out of 10, yeah. Energy, I'm yawning right now, man. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm yawning, and it just wore off super fast. Like if we were doing an actual workout, which would be more than 4 exercises, I probably wouldn't be able to finish it. So energy, I'm saying 3 out of 10. And then for focus was probably the best part of the whole pre-workout. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10 for a final rating of 6 out of 10 for HTLT.
Keep in mind, Greg took the pre-workout 3.0 formula while I took the high stim formula, so there are going to be slight differences.
So this is the final ranking I've constructed for the pre-workouts here. I'll just start bottom to top. So Total War Black Ops was easily the worst pre-workout that we tried. I mean, if you got $22 to spare and you're in desperate need of a pre-workout, yeah, it'll get the job done, but don't expect to be blown away. Then in C tier, I have Thavage, second cheapest pre-workout, so I guess we're going in order of price here too. Once again, nothing crazy. It's a good pre-workout if you're a beginner or you need something in a pinch, and it'll get the job done. Then in B tier, we have Echo Vision, Optimal 2.0, and then Hardcore Stim 2.0 from HTLT. I would rate Echo Vision just a little bit higher, but these were both good pre-workouts, and definitely something to pick up if you can catch them on sale and you're looking for a good workout. I was really impressed by the energy in Echo Vision. I thought it was going to be worse, and also had a good pump and focus. HTLT lagging just a bit behind. It is a hardcore stim, so I wasn't expecting crazy focus or pump, but it did deliver, and I was a little bit disappointed by the energy, so that's why it's in B tier. Then in A tier, borderline S tier, I would put Ryse Godzilla. If you can get this on sale, 100% get it. I had a really good workout, good pump, good energy, good focus, overall good flavor as well, really good pre-workout. Then in S tier, I have to put the Mother Bucker. Not only did it have a really good flavor, it had the energy to back it up. Those 6,400 milligrams of beta-alanine really did hit me, just because I usually don't use beta-alanine. And overall, I was really impressed by the energy, the focus, the pump. Had a really good workout, better even than on the Ryse Godzilla. Best part about this pre is that Bucked Up love doing sales, so you probably won't have to pay full price for this one. Of course, there is a lot of extra ingredients in there, like I know there's Raoulcine, which is a stimulant. So if you're a beginner lifter, maybe stick with something like Echo Vision or HTLT. Maybe leave the Ryse Godzilla and the Mother Bucker for when you're more of an advanced lifter and you know how to train. So yeah, those were all the pre-workouts that me and Greg ended up rating. This was really fun, and I think from now on I'm going to stick to using Mother Bucker or Ryse Godzilla in the future. These really blew me away. I really didn't have high expectations coming into this video, but leaving now, I've really found that these pre-workouts are so much better than Gorilla Mode. At this point, it's not even about the costs or any scandals going on. It's just how can I get the best workout. If you go in with a mindset of wanting to succeed in the gym, I don't think you need a pre-workout at all, but obviously it's something that's useful there. It should be a tool in your toolbox, not something that's going to really depend on if you have a good workout or not. At the end of the day, every single pre-workout that we took here is usable. If you have it, don't feel bad just because I put it in D tier or maybe not where you wanted it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more of this. Me and Greg are going to be cranking it out all summer long.